Most people, when people talk of traditional Malawian food, they talk of chigumu or zitumbua. They're not really open to being innovative around it.
So I think it's a misconception that we have. I believe the old people, the traditional people, they were the first innovators. For us to have the foods that we have, they were the breeders. They used to breed the seed. They used to cook it in a way that, there are some foods, if you look at foods like kalongonda, if you take it just like that, it's poisonous. But they knew all of that. They knew all of these nuances. They knew how to prepare it so that it is not poisonous, but it is delicious. So for us to say that traditional foods are not innovative is not right. So it's just we are stuck into thinking that Western foods are better. We have grown to understand that, we need the pizzas, the way they are done. We need to have French fries. We need to do the way it is done in the West. But we can also actually cook our own traditional foods and also be innovative about it. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with our work. Everyone says that children do not like to eat millet, but have we tried to make it a bit more innovative in how we cook it? Have we tried to be more creative in how we cook it? Yeah, so it's about just trying to think outside the box, but just also trying to preserve our culture. Our food is very nutritious. I think Ben mentioned it's more nutritionally dense. Yeah, so really we need to be more innovative or creative. I won't say innovative, but more creative around how we serve it.
Okay, talking of our food being already nutritious and also innovative, so from your childhood, which Malawian traditional dish do you think needs to be revived, like in a better way?
Tough question, because I think a lot of them can be revived. So, to answer that question, I'm just going to, today's menu, okay, what you've just had is welcome snacks. You're going to have much more diverse food at the end of this. Maybe once you've had it, you can let me know, people can let me know which ones they've liked. And then we can see which one we can revive.
Okay, I was asking because just of late, I had my grandma make samp for me. How many have had samp before? Yeah, in Malawi, they used to call it ntakula. People, you've heard ntakula. In Makala, it's like mpale. Yeah. So they used to boil it and cook it together with beans. But people no longer do it. And it's so nice. You can even add grounded meat and all of that. It's so delicious. I wish we could bring it back because it was so nice. So, if you were given a chance to come up with a menu, just off of your head, because typically in a Malawian household, for breakfast we have porridge or bread with tea, lunch we'll have nsima, pap with a protein, and then a bit of vegetables. For dinner we'll have the same. What would you recommend, off the top of your head, what would you imagine?
Putting me on the spot again. I don't know. I always believe that it's best to eat what is in season. So your menu should evolve around what is in season, because it also takes less to produce what is in season. So this season, what is abundant? We have lots of sweet potatoes in season. Bananas are in season. They're always in season. You can see from the table that we have there, a lot of fruit that is in season. Masau is in season. Baobabs are in season. Tudza is in season as a fruit. We have lots of horned melon. This is ipwete. the kiwano melon, the cucumber with the thorns. It's in season a lot right now, and it's very delicious. So nature has a way of giving us the foods that we need when we need it. So you will find that what we need grows when we need it. So we need those nutrients. So we should eat the food that is in season. So I think I can't tell you a typical menu, but go with what is in season and you won't go wrong. Go for the fruits that are in season, go for the foods that are in season. They take less to produce, they take less water, and they provide the nutrients that you need at the time that you need them.
All right, perfect. That's actually quite true. And finally, what do you think the modern food systems could learn from the way that our ancestors used to produce food or consume food?
Yeah, I think I just said the last one, which is eat what is in season. Most of our ancestors were hunter-gatherers, so they used to eat what was in season anyway. Yeah, and agriculture has evolved so much that the world is like our oyster. We can get foods from across the world. We have different cuisines. So experiment with your local foods with different cuisines, you know. That's the beauty of having even AI, you know. We can use it responsibly to get, for example, we are going to serve millet wraps this evening or late afternoon, and millet wraps like chapatis are not traditional to Africa. Like, I mean, you know, chapati, right, is not really our kind of food. But just through research and finding out how to cook it, you can actually make, because millet is one of the difficult foods to cook. You cannot roll it up because it just falls apart. But through, you know, research and finding out from the internet, you can find that they make millet chapati in India. How do they make it, you know? So you find, oh, they mix it with this and they do that, and then you can actually have it in your own home, so that your meals just don't become boring and that you are creative around what you cook. Yeah. So, what was the question again?
At that point, it means it's been answered. All right, thank you very much to Fundo. A round of applause for her. All right, so aside from coordinating scope, she also does an annual festival. So she's going to explain a bit more about the festival that she runs every year.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Sustain Fest, which we call our Sustainability Festival. So this is an annual event that we hold in Lilongwe, where we bring together people that are working in traditional indigenous foods, from farmers to innovators, and we celebrate our sustainable food systems. So we bring in children to learn the foods. We have recipes. People can try out the food. So I see there are a lot of exhibitors here, and some of you who might not have been to Sustain Fest before. So this year we're going to have it on the 4th of September. The venue, it will be advised, TBA. So you can follow our Facebook page, Scope Malawi, so that you can stay abreast on when the event will be. You can also learn more about the traditional foods that are available, and you can also buy lots of seed and traditional seed that the farmers have. There's always quite a lot to display. So please come through. If you've got your products from indigenous foods that you have, you're also welcome to come and exhibit at the event. Yeah, so thank you very much. So 4th of September, save the date. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fundo. Another round of applause.
Well, I'm a new team leader of Tata Program Interview from the program dealing with developing ecosystem for new to Malawi, but well, I have some questions about food because, well, to be honest, if we want to develop tourism in Malawi and ecotourism, we need to have a food consumption where it's produced, and we need to have a local food. Honestly, from everything you have said until now, I have no idea where I can find it. And just as a point, yesterday we had a dinner, we have been obliged to go to a Korean restaurant. So honestly, to be able to make use of Malawian food, we need also to understand what is very good, because the only thing we have in the hospitality industry is the chombo fish. And with chombo fish, with the same tomato sauce, well, there's no way you can have a wow effect. So my question is, how do you think we could do in order to manage to have Malawian food for tourists, and what should be done in order to have more chefs dealing with Malawian ingredients in order to have flavored food? Thank you.
So we are also running a campaign called My Food is African, and it's just around raising awareness around food, because the challenge is most people are afraid to venture into producing, especially as restaurants, Malawian food, because maybe people will not go there to consume. I've seen a lot of traditional food restaurants getting closed because people were not patronizing them. So I think a lot of awareness needs to be raised around why we should consume our own food. I think once we tackle that step, so Scope Malawi, my organization that I work with, is trying to do this by raising awareness with young people. So most of the foods that we serve are sort of trialed through young people. So that's why we came up with some of these recipes, because everyone kept on telling us, children will not eat millet, children will not eat this. So we're like, okay, how can we make it interesting for them? So it's around raising our awareness for the future generations as well, so that we as Malawians are the first consumers of the food, not expatriates, not people from outside the country. So we should be the first consumers of the food, and we should patronize those restaurants, that tourism industry. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you. Another round of applause for Chifundo. So now we're going to move on to our panel discussion, where we discuss the opportunities that are there in sustainable gastronomy. So the first panelist to join us is Mr. Joseph Gausi, who's the head of Scaling Up Nutrition Civil Society Alliance, CISONA. And then we also have Taonga Nyirenda, who's the managing director of SeedBees, and she is also a tourism expert. And we also have Emmanuel Mwanza, who's the managing director of GoJet. And finally, we'll have a chef, Chef Horace. All right. So, since we're already talking about tourism, it's only right that we start there. Okay, so what unique Malawian dishes could become tourism products?
So firstly, I'll just point out that I've been put on the spot, but I'll try as much as I can to navigate through that. But just a brief introduction of myself. My name is Taonga Nyirenda. I'm a proud member of the Malawi chapter for the World Food Forum. So I'm also the founder of SeedBees, an agribusiness where we deal in circular agri-food systems, where we're transforming organic waste into affordable and sustainable agricultural inputs, such as livestock feed and organic fertilizer. But before my journey in agribusiness, I trained as a tourism professional, so I hold a master's in tourism management. I'm therefore very delighted to join this conversation, which is at the intersection of gastronomy, culture, tourism, and food systems. Thank you so much for having me. In terms of a unique dish that could probably be our Malawian sell point. Honestly, I actually concur with what he said. I don't think we have a unique dish that is unique to Malawi per se. In as much as chambo is our flag carrier, we have tilapia in Zambia, we have tilapia in Tanzania, so it's not per se unique to Malawi, but I would say what makes it unique is the stories behind it, which brings us to the theme for today, gastronomy. So it's the stories behind the chambo itself, the fishermen that are narrating stories about Lake Malawi and the whole fishing experience, and then the chef that's actually sharing how their unique preparation methods, and I think that's what makes chambo different for Malawi. Not per se that it's unique to Malawi, but most importantly, I also think we have things like Malawian tea and the coffee trails. That I would say is unique to Malawi, because I mean we have Cholo and then we have Mulanje. That is unique to Malawi. We won't have another tea estate that's in Tanzania or something. So for that, I would say it all boils down to the experience itself, not the chambo as a dish, but then the whole experience, how we're presenting it, the stories, the identity that we're attaching to the dish itself, and how we're, say for example, involving the tourist in the whole experience, having them, say for example, pound the maize with the locals to prepare the nsima, having them prepare the fish with the chef. That experience is what would be unique to a tourist. I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, so just to add on that, you have mentioned the fish quite a lot. Which Malawian food or dish would you recommend to like tourists? Which one should be promoted more? Which one do you think is not being promoted as much as it should be? And which one should be promoted a lot more to our tourists, to people who visit Malawi?
So for something that isn't being promoted enough, I would say Chifundo has touched on that a lot. It's not more what is not being promoted, it's how it's being prepared, the innovation that's being put into the actual preparation. So for me, we're yet to come up with menus that actually speak to tourists and make them want to not just experience Malawi as a country, but the dishes themselves. So apart from the chambo, I mean, we have nkwani, which is pumpkin leaves, but even that, it's not unique to Malawi, but the preparation is what's going to make it different. So I think we're yet to come up with dishes that we can actually promote as tourism products.
All right, thank you for that, Taonga. Now over to you, Mr. Joseph. What role do indigenous foods play in improving nutrition?
Yeah, thank you very much. So like colleagues have already highlighted and emphasized on the importance of promoting our own indigenous foods. So for nutrition, it is very important because nutrition goes just beyond food. We are looking at optimal nutrition so that people have balanced diet but also productive enough. So they need quite diverse availability of food for them to attain that. So what is critical is I think the 4 pillars of food security. Number 1 is looking at availability. So the local foods are readily available because of the local context. Number 2 is the issue of accessibility. Food has to have access because it's locally within the boundaries of where people are staying. It makes that accessibility to be not an issue. Number 3 is about the utilization. So I think earlier on we talked about how our parents in olden days prepared food that was nutritious, something that we have abandoned. So the food utilization, preparation for it to be nutritious is also very important, and the indigenous foods are that very much important. Number 4 is stability. Food has to be stable, stability of supply. So looking at the local context, we know that what is locally available, it is going to give us stability of supply. And if these things are in place, these are the things that will contribute to improving nutrition. Apart from looking at these 4 pillars, indigenous foods, we are looking at the nutritious value of the food. They contribute to vital minerals that we need, the vitamin A, iron, and the like. So these foods are rich in all these nutrients. The issue of food must be culturally accepted, so cultural fit. So each and every culture in Malawi, they know what's available in Mzimba, and that should be culturally accepted in Mzimba. So I think that is also an important aspect of how indigenous foods can contribute to nutrition outcomes, because the people within a given region or geographical area, that food is within their area for generations. They have been depending on it. It's culturally accepted, unlike the other foods that people are not used to, and it becomes a problem for other groups. So I think in a nutshell, that's what I would say, the importance really of relying on traditional foods. Maybe the last aspect is about being affordable, because the problem now is the mindset that people cannot attain good nutrition, because when they think about nutrition, to them they think about food that they can find in big supermarkets, and yet the most nutritious foods is right there in their community. And this is not just about what they grow, but we're also talking about animal food that is locally available, the local chickens and the other things, mbala, medicina zote, chiwala. But people don't think that is nutritious. So these ones, if we can create that kind of awareness, bringing people back to those roots and amplifying that these are what are nutritious, I think we can see nutrition outcomes being realized, especially now when the country is going through a tough time and our nutrition levels are not that appetizing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. Now for Mr. Emmanuel, our young agripreneur. So how can young people build business around local food? How do you?
Young people should stop looking at the product that they're having, local products, as just products. They should also think that they can make money out of the products that they see locally at their localities by adding value to the products that they see, and then finding market out there. There are lots of opportunities they can make money out of the local product that they have. So by looking at the products as an opportunity to make money, they can turn it into a business, make an opportunity of the local product that they have in their community. Sure.
So you've only talked about value addition. What other practical steps can young entrepreneurs take to turn local foods into viable business aside from value addition?
By focusing on one product in the area and finding more customers, they can make money out of it. For example, like local chickens, they can be buying local chicken in their community and then finding the market in town, doing it more often, they could be making money on that. For example, they can also be buying bonongwe in the areas and then bringing it to the town and make money of it. There are also seeds that can be bought in good shops like ours, bonongwe seeds, plant them, grow them. They can be selling them in times that there is not season. Like now, people need fresh vegetables. If they plant vegetables now, they'll make more money. That's local product as well. So I think by being innovative, money can be made.
Thank you very much for that. Now I'm going to open the floor to questions.
Thank you very much. My name is Norbert Tréhou, and I've come with my colleague who spoke before. So we're working on the TASA project, which is linked to ecotourism development. So we know that gastronomy is very much linked to that as well, to make discover new products. And if I speak as a tourist, I will give you my point of view in terms of food. We're talking about innovation and diversification. Innovation is creating something which is new, fine. Here you have a lot of product. When we go to the markets, to the supermarkets, we see vegetables, a lot of vegetables, fruits. The point is that when we go in the country, when we go to restaurants, when we stop in the villages, we see chambo, for instance, chambo and sima everywhere. But this is the tradition, the specialty. Fine. My issue as a tourist is that I always find chambo and sima with tomato sauce. With tomato sauce. My question is, what kind of sauce, other sauce can we put with chambo? This is one question. It's not innovation, but it's transforming something existing into new products, new ideas. So voilà, this is what I wanted to bring to the table. Thank you.
How I wish our chef was here. It's a hard one for us.
So for me, if I got your question, what I would suggest, there's actually a lot of sauces that you could use with chambo. For example, we have kambuzi. So kambuzi is a chili. It's a local chili. It has so much flavor, and once you taste it, I'm very, very optimistic that you'll love it. So that's one of the sauces that I would suggest. I'm not sure about the tomato sauce. Is that like gravy or the actual tomato sauce that's processed? Oh, the gravy. Okay. Yeah. No, but we have a very wide range of chilies that are locally made, which you could you could really love with a chambo. But also, I mean, how the chambo is made, we have fried, there's grilled, there's even just something that's made boiled with gravy. So I think it all boils down to how it's made as well. But then let's I would encourage you to keep exploring. There's a lot of local cuisines that you're going to enjoy in Malawi. I promise you.
Also, just to add, I think the hot tomato sauce gravy thing is our Malawian thing. Like, we always have our proteins with gravy. I was shocked when I traveled and I found people eating dry food. I'm like, what is this? Because I'm used to like having food with gravy. So I think that's why you often see fish with like gravy. Yeah. So any more questions from the group?
Maybe just to add on all the comments that have come through, when it comes to tourists, I think it's the authentic experience that they are looking for. So on the recipe itself, we may need to keep it traditional. We may need to keep it the way we cook, because that's what they want to taste our food. When I think Norbert was giving his comment on chambo, it is like the experience he's got has been the same throughout all the places that he's visited, meaning that there is maybe we've been cooking in a certain way, but we can play around with the same chambo and cook it traditionally. I believe that we can put in some nsinjilo, I think some people have avangapo atenderapo, chambo, somba ija, sometimes even just boil it. So we can play around with it, but cook in a traditional way, and that's being authentic. That's what tourists are looking for. And when we talk of gastronomy, that's gastronomy tourism. So we may need to do more in how we present our local foods, and that we get these local foods into the menus, into our in all the establishments across the country, where when tourists come, there are others that are specifically traveling just for that. Let's catch that market segment and ensure that we are offering what they are looking for when it comes to food, gastronomy. Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Livness Banda from Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources. I just wanted to build on the comment that she just made. I think one of the things that would help us to really have Malawian recipes available to our tourists, we have a task as Malawians. I think we have a lot of unique recipes in the communities in different districts. For example, I remember my childhood growing up. I come from a lakeshore area. The way we prepare fish is totally different from what we see when we go to restaurants. There are so many unique recipes that are there in villages. So maybe we might need to have like a task to document different recipes, go to Karonga, go to Nkata Bay, go to Nsanje, and document, because I know there are unique recipes. Earlier on, she said that maybe we don't have specific, maybe Malawian recipes or foods or whatever we can call it. I think we have them, but we haven't documented them. It's the issue of awareness or maybe our attitude. Sometimes we think that our local is not as good. I think at the opening statement, I think that's one of the things that was said, that maybe we think that local is inferior to what is exotic. So maybe if we just go back and document. And even going back to our chambo, I just wanted to say that it is unique to Malawi. There are a lot of tilapia species, but chambo is a tilapia species that can only be found from Lake Malawi and not anywhere else. So maybe we also need just to have that documentation and understand that maybe have really a lot of work to do to have a documentation and bring these recipes and the awareness that we talked about earlier on. Thank you.
I also think as Malawians, we now have a job to be more, to bring awareness to our food. Because now, I mean, it's not normal for a Malawian to have chigumu as their birthday cake. We're so westernized, it should be chocolate or vanilla, but imagine if we'd have like chigumu for our birthdays and all of that. But at this point, let's give a round of applause to our panelists.